Welcome back, first timers. We're out here in Fort Walton Beach where I'm about to take a really amazing class.
We're here at Traditions Workshop and David is going to turn a railroad spike into a knife.
Today is a terribly cold day in Florida, so it's probably the perfect day to try and learn how to be a blacksmith because we do have the fires going. This is something I've wanted to look into for a long time. Then randomly this popped up on our Instagram and we knew we had to come check it out. Terry's not going to be participating. She's going to be filming and try and stay warm on this blustery Saturday morning. The class is $130 and everything is included, including a catered lunch. Advertised as being between 6 and 8 hour class. So we're going to be here for the long haul. But they have all the tools, all the techniques, all the skills, everything you need to turn a railroad spike into a knife.
By the way, this is a steak knife. This is not a high carbon steel knife. It's not your camping knife. It is your steak knife. I do get asked the question every now and then. They go, hold it, it's not 4140 steel. How can I possibly die with that? It's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, this is not good enough steel. You can't kill me with that. It's going to be sharp. It's going to hurt you.
We just finished all of our instructions. We got the introduction. We got to meet the whole team, a little bit about each one of them. Then we got a safety brief.
We're going to cover a couple of just real basic safety things before we get into this.
What to do, what not to do.
Here we go, like that. How much? Hand's breadth. Okay, that's enough. Right there. And I'm going to just strike half on, half off. One more. Hit! Cold.
We got a little bit of a history lesson, which was great.
They would also bring you a set of clothes once a year. Why once a year? Have you ever seen what it takes to actually make cloth by hand? My wife teaches a class on that, and she shows you how to drop spin it, and you make the yarn, the thread.
And then we rolled into some of the techniques.
When you hit it like this, you might as well just be punching the steel with your fist. You see, all the vibration comes right into the wrist, into the elbow, and into the shoulder. But when you have a heavy hammer, that's what you tend to do, because you notice I have to choke up on it. It's moving very quickly. I have a lot of control because it's a lighter hammer, and I'm able to move it very, very quickly downhill with great accuracy. This thing's moving about 30 miles an hour, 30 squared is 900 times a 2-pound hammer. I got 1,800 units of force going downhill. I've got a lot more power and a lot more control, because Hulk smash does not win the game.
We picked out our anvil, we picked up our hammer. It's time to get to work. Terry had to run home to get some warmer clothes because we are absolutely freezing right now, but it's about time to get working.
I brought the warms.
So the cool thing about being at a blacksmith shop, if you need a tool that you don't have, they can just make it or adjust one that they have. So now I'm going to take my railroad spike, I'm going to get it in the fire finally, heat it up, and then start the process. It's the last time you're going to see a railroad spike. Next time you see this thing, it'll probably still be a railroad spike, but it'll look more like a knife. My tongue is numb. I'm realizing the metal cools down really fast. I think maybe because it's really cold out, but probably just in general. So you only have a few really good hits before it starts to cool down, and then you got to heat it up again. So it is a long, lengthy, drawn-out process. I'm definitely bringing up the rear in the class. I'm the furthest behind, but I finally got it to the point where we can go to the next phase where I start to flatten out the blade portion of the part. This is definitely a lot harder than I had anticipated. I've messed up a few times. My blade now is extremely thin.
He's making a scalpel.
And we're trying to fix it. They're helping me through it, but definitely take your time because this is an art and a skill.
If making knives is not your thing, don't worry. They have all kinds of other classes where you can make different things, bottle openers, axes. They even have a class here on Valentine's Day where you can make a decorative rose out of copper.
I was getting a little downtrodden with the fact that I'm doing horribly, but they did tell me that it's a kinesthetic process where you have to learn by doing, and so the first time you're gonna be horrible. So if you come out here, don't be discouraged. It does help if you have other handy skills, which I don't have. They'll work through it, and if you mess up, they'll fix it. They'll help you fix it, so stick with it. Everybody is moving right past me in terms of where they're at with this process, but I'm trying to take my time, very fine-tuned, intricate strikes, and I'm starting to feel not confident about my knife, starting to not feel completely demoralized, so it's coming along. Okay, we tried to save it. Unfortunately, the last heat and tap ended up breaking the blade off, or at least cracking it. So we're gonna have to pivot. We're probably gonna remove the blade, make a shorter knife, and go from there. It's quite a bit behind everybody else, so we're gonna have to speed up this process. But back to the drawing board. David was able to take my broken blade and get me right back caught up with everyone else. So right now we're heating up the back end, but it looks more like a knife now than it ever did at any point today. So we're gonna heat it up, and then we're gonna do the handle twist. And then I think about that time we're gonna have lunch. So when you come here, you actually get lunch provided, and it's barbecue from Sonny's Barbecue, which is right down the street. Looking forward to that.
Even heat's going to give an even twist.
Okay.
You're going to pick it up by the blade. You're going to capture it on the shoulder. Right like that. Give it a good. Drop the tongs. Don't even hang on to it. Go in like so. Right? And then you're going to start twisting.
So
put your tool down.
to pull it down
and
put it up here.
Get your tongs.
Yeah.
Grab it. Because it is still 400 degrees. It's as hot as a pizza oven, okay?
Okay.
That's very, very hot. Come on, get it out of there. Oh no. Okay, too hot.
Too hot.
That's fine. Keep going. We've melted part of it. Actually, let's consolidate that. Over there.
Okay.
Get this on. Where it's thin there, it's going to probably twist faster. Well, that's half a twist.
Half a twist is cool.
Half a twist is cool.
I like half a twist.
Then we're going to call it victory and move on.
Yes, we are.
We're going to go
This way. We're at the halfway point. We're about to have lunch. And while I've been getting discouraged, we did get a really nice pep talk. David was able to tell us about him taking classes just recently, learning how to do an axe. And somebody that is a master blacksmith still takes classes to fine tune their skills and learn new skill sets. He made mistakes and it got better each time. So while I struggled on the first half of this class, I'm hopefully gonna pick it up a little bit more in the second half, and I think we're gonna be able to talk to him, let him tell you a little bit about his business and what they offer here.
I'm here with David, the master craftsman of Traditions Workshop. What do you guys do here?
3 R's. Restore, refinish, repair. You name it, we fix it.
Okay.
If it can come through my door, I can probably fix it. If it doesn't have a name, like Grandma's rocking chair, if it's the one you found on the side of the road, just put it back on the side of the road, okay? But if it's got a name, it's got a history, it's got a family, it's been in the 5 generations in the house, that's worth fixing when we do that. But because of that, we have all of the folk school arts. Because some of those pieces that we get in, 1880, where do you find a set of hinges for that Sears and Roebuck case that came from 1880?
You gotta make it, right?
That's the only way to do it. That's why we have the blacksmith shop, is for making stuff. We have leather work.
Okay.
We have wood turning. We have stained glass. My wife, she does something with making yarn, handmade yarn and thread. I mean, we don't get too much call for that, but we do fix it.
You got the whole family here, huh?
Everybody's involved in some way or another. My daughter takes care of the website. My oldest daughter is actually my youngest because she has Down syndrome. And she is 37, but she's still about 3 years old. So she'll tell you that this is her shop. It's not my shop. It's her shop. This past week, we did a homeschool group. We had a couple of homeschool kids come in, and we did an introduction to blacksmithing. We usually get Rocky Bayou Christian will send us a team of juniors and seniors.
Okay.
And with them, it's 7 projects in 5 days.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like, hang on, boys. Ladies, you didn't expect this at all. And we're going to cover physics, thermodynamics. We're going to also talk about a little bit of Bible. We're going to do history. And we're going to make 7 projects. Nails, hooks, seahorses, leaves, barbecue forks. You've got to have yourself a bottle opener, and when you're done, then we'll let you make a knife. Now, you came you jumped in both feet into the deep end of the pool to make a knife. I'll tell you what, that's why we have some spares.
Definitely came in handy today. If somebody wants to reach out to you, how can they contact you? Phone, email, website?
All the above. We have all of our classes from now until December, actually past December this year. All of our classes are already posted to the website. We do change them. So I get the phone call and, hey, could we have the Viking knife class in July? And I'm like, really? You want to do this in that heat? But okay, we'll have the class in July. So if I get a phone call with enough lead time, I'll go ahead and help people out.
Yeah.
Phone number, 850-974-1548. We do have email, and we do have the website. The website's traditionsworkshop.com. That will let you see what we have currently planned.
Sounds like you're doing a lot here. Thank you for talking to us. And I think we got to get David back out there to finish up his
He's going to have to
masterpiece.
finish. He's going to have to finish that blade. And what you're going to do next is you're actually going to you've shaped the basic knife. Now you've got to actually shape the blade.
Just wrapped on lunch and it was delicious. But not only was lunch delicious, we got stories, we had jokes, and we even got some instruction going forward. It was nice getting out of the cold, but it was really great. Some of the stories and tales that David had to share a little bit more in depth about blacksmithing and some of his history, and then some of the things he does on the side. Really, one of the highlights so far of today was just listening to him talk. Do not skip lunch when you come out here. All right, we're back at it, and right now what we're doing is working the bevel, or kind of make the sharp point. So we're gonna slowly heat it up and then work those edges, thin it out, and elongate the knife. So this is going to be kind of a tedious, lengthy process. We'll show you a little bit, but then we'll check back in once that's done. So you only have about 30 seconds of tapping once you get it out of the fire, because one, it's really cold, and two, the metal cools down really quickly. I got the knife as knifey as I possibly can get it. Now it's time to file the blade. But now we're switching over to new technology, and I'm gonna clean this whole thing up with a wider brush, and then I'm gonna shape it a little bit more so it looks more like a knife, and then we're gonna put on a very sharp beveled edge. So we still got a couple more steps, but they should go pretty quick because we're using machines now.
Get it to the point where it's non-magnetic. That's about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to be actually a red. We're going to take it out of the fire. We check it's non-magnetic, right? When it's non-magnetic, take it, drag the front edge right through the water like so. See the blue and the purple? Those are the temper colors. So when we see the brown temper color come to the edge, that's when it's time to quench it all the way cold. Back in the water now to the bottom of the bucket, just straight up and down, straight up and down.
We got it tempered. Now we're gonna get it completely shiny, or as shiny as I like it, and that's gonna be a wrap.
So you've made your very own first knife. It's a shiny knife, Hollywood style. One of the reasons why I teach these classes and why I have the stories that I tell along the way is to give you an appreciation of how far it took for people to get to where we are today. You know, I talked about making thread. Can you imagine having to make every single thread on a garment before you could actually take and weave the cloth? And that, people ask the question, why Roman guards drew lots for Jesus' clothing? And you go, that stuff was covered with blood? It had been ripped by the whips, and they're throwing dice. They're gambling for Jesus' clothing. And you have to ask yourself, why in the world would they do that? Until you realize making every thread, and then weaving all the threads together, and then making the garment took 9 months. This is just another example of, what did it take to get us to where we are today? And you look at all the technology that we have around us, and you go, you can't make an iPhone if you can't forge the steel. Now you have an appreciation of what it took to get you to where you are today.
Definitely. I want to thank you so much. This was a great class. I think anybody that has any interest or absolutely no interest needs to come out here and take this class, because it's an eye-opening experience. The amount of time and effort that goes into something making it looks very simple, but it's a complex process. It takes attention to detail, and it takes a skilled blacksmith that can show you and lead you the way. So come out here, book a group trip, because there are so many other classes besides knife making. Come out here, they'll teach you all kinds of stuff.
I'll tell you, one of my favorites is just making a copper ladle, so you can put soup on the table.
Yeah.
Why not?
We're definitely going to have to come back for another one. So hey, thank you again, sir. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. God bless and Godspeed.
God bless you too. And that's a wrap at my first attempt at being a blacksmith.
You had a little bit of struggle at first, but it turned out really nice.
I had so much fun. It was a long day. It was a cold day, but everything worked out in the end. We had great instructions. We had a great time, great stories, met a lot of really cool people. Huge thanks to Traditions Workshop and David and his whole crew, as well as Florida Artists Blacksmith Association. We had such a great time out here.
We highly recommend that you check them out, get on their website, book a class today.
But if you like this video, check out this video right here where we did something else new for the first time. Thanks again for following along in this episode, and join us next time when we try something else new for the first time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First timers.
High five.